The next idea is operation on sets. For example, if you want to find union, intersection, etc. of many sets, how do we do? Well, first thing we need to understand for that is we represent sets using what is known as a Venn diagram. This is just a diagrammatic way to understand what is happening conceptually. For example, let's say you have a set A and a set B. Okay, we represent them using circles. It doesn't mean that the set itself is in the shape of a circle or anything. This is just a symbolic representation. The idea that this set, this circle and this circle may have some common region means that set A and set B could have some common elements, which we called as A intersection B. Okay, now in the Venn diagram notation, this is set A, this is set B, but what is outside? This is the new idea here. In a particular context, okay, where for example if we were talking about letters in an alphabet, we would define something called the universal set. I will use a slightly different U to distinguish it from the U for union. Okay, so we will call this as the universal set. Now this is different in different contexts. For example, we just said that in the context of letters in an alphabet, universal set would be all the letters A, B, C, D till Z. Okay, in the context of months of a year, it would be all the months January, February till December. And then we can ask, what is the set A, which are all the months beginning with J? For example, it could be January, June, July, etc. Now, universal set is an idea that has to be specifically understood in each context. Okay. Now, why did we write this universal set? Because we want to say this is set A, this is set B, but all the possible elements of the universe in that context will remain under this rectangle. Now, we are ready to define what is known as a complement. A complement is equal to complement of set A is the set of all elements not in A. But if we just said not in A, it could mean anything. Therefore, here what we mean is not in A, but in the universal set. Okay, or we could also write the set of all the elements in the universal set which are not in A. Okay, so this is the definition of complement. Okay, now we could define A, similarly we can define B complement also. Now let's understand some operations. Now we know union, we know intersection, and we know some operation, we know complement. So let's write some properties of these basic operators. So union, intersection and complement. Okay, so let's see some of the basic properties that we can list. Now some of these properties are obvious, some of them we can show easily using the Venn diagram, and if we have more sets, we can add one more set like this for set C, which could have some intersection with A, some intersection with B, etc., etc. Okay, so let's list some of the properties. Now first, the basic sets we know are phi and the universal set. Okay, these are some special sets. Phi is the null set, U is the universal set. Null set has no elements, U has all the elements in the universe in that context. Okay, so let's list some properties. Any set A intersection phi would simply be phi, because there's nothing going to be common between the two sets, because phi itself is a null set. Now on the other hand, a union phi, any set union the null set, is going to give you the same set. Now let's try and do this two operations using universal set. Any set A intersection the universal set. Okay, A intersection the universal set is clearly going to be A itself, and similarly A union the universal set is going to be the universal set. Okay. Now let's do a few more properties. Suppose we take a complement, which is the set of all elements not in A, and do a complement again, we will get back the original set, because a complement contains all the elements not in A but in U. The complement of that would be all the elements not in the outside but in U, which will be all the elements in A. Okay. Next, we can write certain properties which are very useful for simplification of some operations. For example, I can say A intersection B is equal to B intersection A. From the definition, I say set of all elements in A and B is the same meaning as in B and A. Okay. So this means the operation is commutative, and similarly for union also I can say A union B is equal to B union A. The next is, so this is commutativity. Okay. The next is associativity. A union B union C is nothing but A union B union C, and similarly A intersection B intersection C is equal to A intersection B intersection C. So you can change the order of which intersection you want to do first, and this is easily verified using the Venn diagram. For example, if we wanted, let's say, A intersection B intersection C, look at B intersection C, it is this region. A intersection this region is this double shaded region, or shaded like this. Okay. Now suppose you change the order. You first started with A intersection B, so it would be A intersection B would be this region, but that intersection C will again be the solid shaded region. So many of the properties that we are going to list can similarly be proved using the Venn diagram method. So this is called associativity. Okay. Let's list a few more properties. Now we can ask what is, so these are, in fact this next set of laws are called De Morgan's laws. Again can be proved using the Venn diagram. A union B, the whole complement will be A complement intersection B complement, and A intersection B, the whole complement will be A complement union B complement. One more law that we can list here is distributive law, which says A intersection B union C, you have intersection of a union of two sets, will be A intersection B union A intersection C. Again this can be proved using Venn diagrams. A intersection B union C, B union C is this full set, and A intersection that would just be this part, correct? Okay, sorry, this part, and A intersection B will be the whole thing, A intersection B, A intersection C will be this, and the union of the two will again be this shape. Okay. Now this is the reason it's called distributive law, is because it is in some way similar to x dot y plus z is x dot y plus x dot z, which is a law that we know is true for numbers. But here we are not talking of numbers, and the operations are not multiplication and addition, but we can see that the intersection operation behaves like the like this symbol for this law, and the union operation behaves as if it was similar to the addition operation. But we have to be a little careful in extending this analogy, because in normal numbers distributive law is true only for multiplication over addition, but in sets we can actually show that this distributive law is also true A union B intersection C is actually A union B intersection A union C. Okay, so here we have basic properties like commutativity, associativity, etc., De Morgan's laws and distributive law. Now the next idea is, we have already defined something called n of A. So we have said n of A is the number of elements in a set. Now let's say, what is n of phi? N of phi will be 0. N of u, on the other hand, the universal set, will depend on the particular context. For letters in an alphabet, it will be 26. Okay, for months in a year, it will be 12. For some other situation, if the universe is all natural numbers, it could be infinity. So it depends on the particular context. But can we now ask, for example, what would be n of A union B? If we know n of A and n of B, then this will be n of A. So this is the number of elements in A plus the number of elements in B, but the elements here will be counted twice. So we have to subtract that, n of A plus n of B minus n of A intersection B. This is a very important idea to connect the union intersection operation with the number of elements in a set. Now we can derive many other formulae like this. For example, if we have 3 sets, we could write n of A union B union C is, if we wanted the number of elements in the union of these 3 sets, we will start with n of A plus n of B plus n of C, but this way we will be double counting many elements. For example, all elements in this common region A intersection B, we will be counting them twice, once under n of A, once under n of B. So we should subtract this. Okay, so let's subtract n of A intersection B. Similarly, let's subtract n of B intersection C and A intersection C. But what we will now find is that you subtracted this, okay, but we added this twice and subtracted it once, therefore it's fine. We have essentially added it once, which is what it should be. In the union, you must include each element only once, which means each region in this graph should be included only once. Okay, so it's fine for this. Okay, similarly it's fine for this region and it's fine for this region. But let's look at this common region. Okay, let's see what will happen. We included it once under n of A. Okay, fine. We included it again in n of B, so we included it twice, and we included it again in n of C, so we included it thrice. But when we subtracted it once, when we subtracted this and this, so we've also subtracted it thrice, which means this common to A, B and C region has not been included at all, and therefore for the overall formula we must now add n of A intersection B intersection C.